Hello, one and all, 2 and 4, 6 and 8. How's everybody doing today?
Hi.
It's never not going to be funny. I'm sorry.
I can't top what you're doing. It's so many hellos and greetings. It's like the most enthusiastic you've ever been in your life. So I'm just going to fade in the background with a simple hi.
That's great. I love it.
It's our thing. We've found it.
True enough.
I
know. Welcome, everybody, to Crimes Against Folk. I'm Edward Williams.
I'm Ashley E. Norton.
And we're so happy to be back with you guys today.
Yeah.
This is technically the last week of our Far West month.
Yep.
And so we'll just talk a little bit more about it today, and our special guests are kind of tied into that. Today we have Simon Petty and Celia Chavez. And they form the duo Petty Chavez, which I just love that name.
It's a great name. I didn't realize it was their last names for a while. I was like, that's a cool band name.
Yeah, I thought it was like some like cool indie rock band from like East Nashville or something.
They're just naturally cool. They don't even have to try to have a cool band name. They just have one.
Yeah, it's true. They lucked out.
Mm-hmm.
They lucked out. So we're going to talk to them a little bit today about their experiences at Far West and how they, their process, because they're a duo like us, and it's always fun to talk to other duos and see how they do things. And then for our tips and tricks, we'll just throw out a few songwriting tips.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll talk a little bit to Petty Chavez about that as well.
Hopefully we'll remember to.
Yeah. Sometimes we get into the interview and we're just like, we're having so much fun, we just forget we're supposed to be.
Just out the window. We're like,
yeah. We forget what we're supposed to be talking about. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens today. But also I want to just thank everybody for the wonderful birthday wishes.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ed had a birthday this week.
It was my birthday on Wednesday. It was right in the middle, so I didn't know which podcast to talk about it on, the one last week or this week. But since I forgot last week, I might as well do it this week.
Well, I don't know. I feel like, do you guys want to join me in a quick birthday song for Ed? Everybody sing along at home. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ed. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Now you've been sung to twice on a live stream.
That's true.
For your birthday.
That's true. There's a streamer, a Twitch streamer, who has a really cool community. Her name's Angelica Trey, and I mentioned it was my birthday, and she also sang a song for me as well. And then Ashley and Tara and Isadora and Coco also sang as well.
That's my sister. And
that was really cool.
That was fun. They were very excited to talk to you, Ed.
And I got awesome cards. I stored them away, so I don't have them with me, but I stored them away so they wouldn't get messed up.
Aww.
But yeah, I got cards.
Yep, Isadora and Coco drew Ed cards. And so then, of course, I had to hand make a card as well.
And Michelle kindly gave me this painting. My microphone is.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes if you guys are listening.
Yeah,
so
I've
you
got
can see it.
I've got I think a high res version of it that Michelle sent me before. But
Oh, cool.
yeah, that's one of my favorite paintings of hers. That's the collaboration that she and Ash did together.
Yeah.
So that was really nice.
It's a poem called Free, and if you're familiar with our album, The Anchor, then you would have heard it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the little poem that we recite on the album, and Michelle and I kind of collaborated on this piece, even though I wrote the poem, but she put it on this beautiful painting.
Yeah.
And yeah, and Ed's like, that's one of the coolest things I've ever seen you do, Michelle. And she's like, well. And I was like, I think Ed has a birthday. So I brought it over to him, and yeah, it's right where it belongs.
Yep, that was really nice. So yeah, that's what we're getting up to today.
It's been a busy week. I got a COVID test this week.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's negative.
Good.
Yep. I was kind of curious more than anything.
Right.
You know, I went to Arizona and I played a couple of outdoor shows with Stephanie, which was really fun. And if you guys don't know Stephanie Groot is our violinist for When We're the Witherword Trio. She's in a lot of our music videos and stuff and live streams. But she and I played at 2 outdoor shows, and then I started feeling like a little sniffly, and my throat was hurting a little bit. And I was really tired. And I was like, I bet you anything I'm just hungover and have a little cold. But I should just go get it tested anyway because I was kind of curious. So I went to this testing facility that I heard where they don't like shove the thing up into your brain. It's like actually a test around the nostril that's supposed to be really quite accurate. So I made an appointment, and it was so easy. I showed up. You just drive up, and they ask if you have an appointment. You say yeah, and then they say, okay, pull into this space. So you pull into a space. It was only me and one other car at the time. And then they walk over to your window with a mask and gloves on, and they do the test. It takes 3 minutes at most, and then they're like, okay, we'll email you results. And I got results emailed to me after I think 2 days.
Okay.
And it said negative, like I thought, but it was an interesting experience, and nice to know. So if you guys are, and it's free, so if you guys are experiencing any symptoms, you should just go and get tested because it's not a big deal, and it's kind of interesting. And like,
yeah.
Also, this is such a historical moment, like you'll forever hold that, like, yeah, I was tested for COVID and it was negative.
Yeah.
Hopefully it won't turn out to be positive for any of you. But if it is, then you'll know that you stay home in quarantine and don't spread it to anybody else, and hopefully don't have worse symptoms than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Now I know.
Yeah, there's a bunch of centers all over Arizona as well too. So
Yeah.
I think like Scottsdale has a few set up that are like 24/7.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of nice. So I don't know what type of tests they do, but yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cool stuff.
All right. Well, shall we get into a little show and tell?
Let's do it.
So my show and tell, it's my turn this week, I think. So, my show and tell is my one of my only other videos from Far West. This was Far West 2019, and it is the duo we're showcasing today, Petty Chavez, and in another one of the PGS rooms, which is the Private Gorilla Showcase, and it was I thought it was just interesting because they kind of had to improvise a little bit on the percussion that they were going to use. And so I just wanted to kind of highlight that and highlight exactly like how well it worked. So here's Petty Chavez in a Private Gorilla Showcase at Far West 2019.
Add one more to a stream of days, to a stream of days. Always thought I had to carry around such a heavy load. Now I've learned how to put it down, kick it down the road. If I stumble, I still find a way to make it one more time. Been knocking on your door, been counting the ways. There's one more to my stream of days, to my stream of days. I've been sleeping on the pieces of skins I shed. Grief, grief, love, left them all for dead. And all the things I thought would make me strong hurt me in the end. Been knocking on your door, been counting the ways. I want more to my stream of days. Counting the pages turning, June, July, March, April, May. Hand in your hand, I'm learning to stay close to your dawn, to count all the way. Back one more to our stream of days, to open up the door, to count all the ways. Back one more to our stream of days, to our stream of days, to our stream of days.
All right, so that was Petty Chavez at one of the PGS rooms last year, and I thought it was really kind of interesting because Celia used a guitar case as a bass drum with like a mallet. I think like just a or like a. It might have even been a kick drum pedal head thing. I don't know what you call it. Beater that she used to hit the guitar case. But it worked so well. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
I think she couldn't believe it either. She was like, huh. Because the thing is the hotel rooms are so, I mean, you know what a hotel room is like. I mean, they're so small, or they can be. So she plays a lot of percussion in Petty Chavez. So I think the idea of like lugging around the cajon or whatever setup she had that she wanted to use was just like, I don't think this is going to work. But since you kind of already have to bring a guitar case around with you anyway, she's like, what if this works? And it totally did.
It totally worked.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Which I kind of forget because I remember when we saw that one guy at Tim's Tavern in Seattle. And he kind of did the same thing, but he had like a whole contraption that it fit into, like a metal thing he made or something.
He used it like it was just like a kick thing, but it had to have it was a very heavy metal stand because there was something he had to like secure the guitar case too, so the guitar case wouldn't knock over. So he used the guitar case was the drum, and then the pedal, the kick pedal was the kick pedal. But yeah, it was very heavy. It was a crazy contraption. You're right.
Yeah. So I keep forgetting that that can actually be an effective kick drum in a lot of instances, and it seems like they figured it out too.
Yeah.
And it's kind of perfect for the PGS setting because you don't have a lot of room, and you're sometimes just not allowed to bring a lot of stuff. You know, like last week or the week before, I think I've shared a video of Kick Stomp Ensemble, and they had he had kind of what I would call a trap kit, modified trap kit,
Yeah.
which is essentially cymbal, snare, and kick drum thing, which I think he used a cajon for. And that's about the most you can really get away with in those rooms. So the fact that Petty Chavez was able to get away with just a guitar case was fascinating to me.
Yeah.
We've never really tried anything like that, have we? Not like a guitar case.
No, we've tried. I've wanted to add some kind of percussion into our duo show and trio show for a while. So I kind of like add things here and there. Like I have my shakers and my tambourines that I've picked up along the way, and I finally have my favorite ones that I really like. But I've wanted to add a like a stomp box of some sort, but I just haven't found one that's either affordable or the right sound. And then I had I tried to make one once because somebody that I watched a YouTube video, and you could take a cigar box and put a microphone in it.
Oh yeah.
And use it that way, or it was like a half of a headphone. I don't know. It just didn't work very well at all. So I'm still looking for that setup, but now that we're not really playing live, it's kind of on hold anyway.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out some kind of solution for that.
Yeah. I just bang on my guitar here and there.
So yeah, that's my show and tell. A really, really nice memory. I had a lot of those cool experiences in a lot of those private Gorilla Showcase rooms. Those are really fun.
Yeah.
And it is exhausting, but it is really fun. Yeah. So
definitely that.
Yeah. All right. So I think we'll go ahead and do our little video highlight. And again, I don't believe we've done this one yet. But I ran across the Hand of Fate music video, and I really liked this one too. This was the second one we did after the Dragon. And I liked it because we tried to like throw different themes from the Dragon into this one, like just really the channel change thing at the beginning.
Yeah, it was
almost
almost like a continuation of the Dragon video, and then we just changed the video, and now we're at Hand of Fate.
Yeah, I thought that was really fun to do.
That was fun.
So yeah, we just ran around all around Morro Bay and filmed a fun music video. So we're gonna play that for you right now.
Seasons change, and so have I, and so have you. I wonder why the hand of fate deigns to act upon the meek, a proven fact that it takes more courage to love like that. Yeah, it takes more courage to love like that. Spin the wheel, twist the dial, cozy up for a little while. The crying game is fun to watch while the hand of fate cuts a swath through the memories and the lies and the color-coded smiles that keep us guessing day after day. What a blissful, stunning dream that cuts right through the gleam within your eyes, where I am safe. But it takes more courage to love like that. Yeah, it takes more courage to love like that. Yeah, it takes more courage to love while the hand of fate above pulls the pieces before you begin. pictures, cryptic signs form the threads of a life. True conviction, stated plain, guides the sightless through the pain. But it takes more courage to love like that. Yeah, it takes more courage to love like that. It takes more courage to love while the hand of fate above moves with pieces before you begin. Yeah, it takes more courage to love while the hand of fate above moves with pieces before you begin.
Okay, ready?
Painted pictures, cryptic signs.
All right, that was our official music video for Hand of Fate, filmed entirely in Morro Bay, California,
Yep.
and that was really fun.
It was fun.
The chess thing was pretty cool too. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, that was a real chess game that we played.
Yep, it had a special name.
I want to say it was like a night at the opera or something like
Yeah,
that.
it was some kind of famous chess game that Patrick found.
Yeah.
That he was slightly off camera calling out the moves.
Yeah.
To us, and then Howard filmed it with his. He had like a fisheye, or a wide angle lens, and just sped it up really fast.
Yeah.
We just sped it up really fast.
Yeah, it was like one of the shortest chess games in history or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Which is why we picked it, because we're
Yeah.
like, okay, this is not that long. And
This was gonna.
we only have so much time for this. Yeah, it was fun. That little boat cracks me up every time. I forgot how there's a lot of like detail in that video that I forget about, like us walking out of the poles and into the poles, and the boat, and the crawling out of the painting thing, the jumping out of the painting thing. I forgot about all of that.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff we did that was like, oh, I wonder how we're gonna do that, and then we just figured it out.
Yeah.
Because I think that was a second video we did with Howard. And so he was kind of just getting into doing video stuff. And it all worked out really well.
Yeah, the ending, I kind of stole that from another band. If you guys know, I can't remember the name of the group, but it's Sail, the song Sail. Da, 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 da,
what is her name?
Sail.
Yeah, who does that?
I don't know. Is it a her? I thought it was him. I don't know.
AWOL Nation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a her?
Sail!
Yeah.
I don't think so. No, I think it's a guy.
It's two women in the video.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically like a girl standing there in the pouring rain, and she's like got her, her makeup's dripping all down her face, and it's really dramatic. And then you kind of pan out, and then there's another girl that's just like holding a hose over her, just like we did. That's where
really?
I got the idea from.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but theirs gets crazy. I mean, that happens at the beginning of their video, and then they start like murdering each other, which is so weird. But you show it's a funny video though.
Okay, I'm glad you stopped at the rain part.
I don't want to murder you, Ed.
I don't want to murder you either.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad we gave you an umbrella.
Yeah, that was yeah, that was nice. I appreciated that. Yeah, that was really fun. We did that in Howard and Barr's backyard.
Yeah. Yep, and that's Patrick Hershey.
Patrick Hershey on the bass, yep.
Yeah, he used to play with us quite a bit.
Yep.
Back around then.
Yeah, so that was our cool music video. I I hadn't seen that one in a while, so it was nice to bring that one back out again.
Yeah, like I said, it's cool to bring them out because I just forget. Otherwise,
You forget all the stuff that we did.
Yeah.
I forget a lot of that stuff.
Yep.
Now I think we will go ahead and bring in our special guests today. Petty Chavez. They're a singer-songwriter duo out of Los Angeles, California. They met backstage at a David Bowie tribute gig in 2013. And it sounds like they've been just kind of together ever since, doing music and doing other sorts of various stuff. It's been really fun hanging out with them. I've helped Celia a bit trying to get things like Jamulus going. And it's been fun just reconnecting with the both of them. So I'm going to give them a call right now. Let me switch my stuff over here. Guest all. And call. Who else gets a little weird nervousness when they hear that sound?
Me.
I do too.
Are we here?
Hello.
Are we here?
Hey, there you are.
Hi.
We gotta turn that down. Hello, can you hear us?
Yep.
Oh, great.
I'll share my screen here really quick with you. Make sure that works. Can you hear Ashley?
Hello.
It's not working. Can you hear us?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
But can you hear both of us?
Yeah. Ashley, say something?
Hi.
Yes.
All right.
Woohoo!
It's nice to see you guys and to hear you.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Yeah. I know it's a little weird. You're probably you can kind of see us. Probably it's on a bit of a delay, but that's
we can definitely see you.
okay.
That's
Good.
great.
Good. So how's it going?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just safe at home.
Good.
It was really funny listening to you talk about our name. Because they're just our names. So
Yeah.
we never think that they could possibly be anything else. But I like the idea that we're like like some kind of old Chevrolet or something.
Yeah, I seriously thought it was like you could be like a band kind of like the Black Keys or something like that. That's like the image I get when I hear Petty Chavez.
Yeah, or I was like, what does Chavez mean? Like petty, like something in another
Yeah.
language. I was seriously dissecting it for the longest time until you sent me friend requests on Facebook, and I was like, oh.
It's less exciting, isn't it? Really?
I think it's equally as exciting. It's like you just don't have to try that hard. It's just
Exactly.
you are that cool.
We had to try hard to come up with a name,
And we failed.
and
We're still
we're
not
not
cool.
sure if it's
I
cool
don't think
enough.
Witherword's cool.
So
I love you guys'
you're very
name.
lucky in that regard.
It's nerdy.
It is nerdy, that's for sure.
We're secret nerds all
Yeah.
the time. We're
It's not that much of a secret.
Not that much of a secret.
Oh.
Celia does, well, we do the New York Times crossword every day, and Celia beats me to the clues even when she's asleep. So, she'll be lying there, and it's like scimitar, Chevrolet. Just, what? I haven't even thought yet. So that's one of our nerdy things.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Is it your challenge, Simon, to kind of is that your kind of drive now to get there faster than her?
I've actually started drugging her tea, so it's just to slow her down a little bit.
Yeah.
Slows down, and then I can get a couple of answers. I haven't been drugging her tea, I promise.
That's
Seems
exactly what
reasonable.
someone would say who wants to succeed at crossword puzzles. Well, thank you both again for joining us. It's really, really lovely to see you and to hear you.
Great to
And
be here. Thank you for having us.
How are you guys doing? It's weird
well,
that you're apart.
we're separate. We're in different states. at the moment. I'm in Arizona and Ashley's in California. And but other than that, we've been all right. Just we're a good amount of our time is consumed doing the, working on the podcast and trying to, make it a really cool experience. And just something we've always wanted to do, and we haven't had a chance to do it until now. So,
But I miss Ed.
yeah, we definitely miss each other's company. Like every time I go out in the car, I haven't put the computer thing away yet because I just don't feel like it's just, even though it still hits the dashboard all the time. I should just put it away, but I'm like, it just doesn't feel right with it.
Well, so what Ed's talking about is we have this little like metal, it's almost like a TV dinner tray, but it's for a computer in the car. So as you guys know, and we spent like so many years on the road that I just kind of permanently put that thing in there so I could just keep my computer there while we were traveling. And it's constantly banging on stuff. It's like ruined made holes in the whatever you want
In the console.
Yeah, thank you. And it's still there for nostalgic purposes.
Yeah, I just can't bring myself to put it away. So.
It's hard to like pack that road life away. I
Yeah.
know I've really had to get used to being home. It's been nice to be home. I haven't spent this much time at home in 7 years, probably 6 or 7 years. And so it's been nice on that end, but it has been weird. Like my travel toiletries bag is still hanging on a hook, because I like if I unpack it and like I won't know where anything is.
Right.
And so like
Yeah.
lotion is right there. But
I took the PA out of my car as well in the end. I've been trying. Keep a complete rig and backups and everything in my car at all times, basically, because I gig a lot. And
Same.
I took it all out, stuffed it under the bed. It was weird.
Oh my gosh.
Like, your car drives really well without it in, which
Yeah.
is nice. So I use like half as much gas, but it's hard. It's hard. It's just a really
different mindset, right? Instead of being prepared to move or prepared for the next date out of town or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you guys have dates? Are you performing at all, or do you have plans to?
We've just been doing online shows, on streaming shows from here. Every month we do one or two from our front room, and stream them usually on Facebook Live. But we've done. We drove up to Ojai and played this beautiful venue that we played several times before. The Underground Exchange.
Yeah. Did you guys meet Bernie Larson last year?
Yeah, we met him, but we have not played there. I was in discussions with him of booking a show right when COVID hit, and then I don't know about you guys, but I just kind of stopped looking at my email entirely, so I don't even know what happened in most of these.
So we did a show up there with his wonderful backdrop and his four cameras and lovely, beautiful sound.
Yeah.
But it was to him, and then a couple of our friends popped in
with
halfway through with masks on. So we played a big gig to 3 people that night, which was very exciting.
Well, there were people that tuned in.
No, well, that's the other thing.
This is what we've discovered is doing the live streams. We played to so many more people, and during one performance, than we ever have played, how many times more? I
don't know. I can't put a number on it.
Yeah, it's.
I just know that if you play a gig in LA, it's tricky to get 15 people to show up, even though there's 8 million people in the area.
Yeah.
Whereas if you play a gig on
Facebook
Live and promote it, and then 1,500 people watch your show in the end, which is an amazing difference. And we've been really pleased to know that can happen. I mean, I don't know about you, but I didn't watch online shows before I had to watch online shows.
Yeah.
I didn't watch them myself. So, but then now we watch a bunch of different stuff, of course, because that's the only way you can see anything.
Yeah, I think we've had a few friends who have done it certainly longer than I think we had, before we even existed. Like our friend Auburn had been doing a lot of live streaming since, probably for about 8 years now. And so I kind of got used to that because I'd been on them before we started Witherword. But yeah, I think now it's kind of retraining everybody, retraining everybody to be like, oh, okay, well, hey, this is, if you want some live music, this is kind of your only option. You know, I mean, there are people who are still playing shows and stuff, but it's just not as much. And some shows aren't as, like, some of the bigger shows just aren't happening now. So having an online presence as far as live streaming goes is almost critical right now. What do you typically use to do your live streaming stuff? What platform?
Well, I mean, right now we've really only been on Facebook Live. It just seems to be easy. It seems to be where a lot of people just end up, we have people that are just on Facebook, so they see that we're on and they pop over and watch.
But we are trying a new one.
We're trying a new one, yeah.
So our friend David Fernandez has this a whole live music platform. Stream platform that he's set up, and it's great. It's purely dedicated to trying to get the best sound and the best quality picture. And the artists keep all any money that happens to come in as well, which is obviously very cool.
Oh, wow.
So we're excited to be playing out. It's called High Plateau Productions. I think they've got a gig. They've definitely got a gig today.
They've got a lot of gigs.
They do global gigs.
They do global gigs. So they have, what he said, he's got an artist from India in the next few weeks, a lot from the UK.
Some Irish.
We've seen Irish and Greek artists on there. So, I mean, he's he's a lovely man and a music fan first, and then we met him because he was a fan of Simon's band Minibar. And he approached you, right?
Yeah,
he wrote you first, and just said, I want to help you.
It was just at the time.
It was
the same week as Focalize. At Far West, actually. So it was all happening at the same kind of time.
Yeah.
And in those days, he was talking about obviously putting live shows.
And he he brought us up to Seattle, where I'm originally from, to do a show, and produce that, and
in a gallery. It was lovely.
In a wine tasting
/ gallery.
Right.
Oh, nice.
And it was lovely. Yeah. Plenty of people came. It was very cool. So anyway, so this is our new experiment to see if we can play on a different platform. Ticketed. So that's it's ticketed as well.
So that's nerve-wracking.
Right.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Well, you did something similar, Ash, right? With what was it? Museum of Making Music.
Yeah, it wasn't ticketed. I mean, it was, but it was free, but a free show. But yeah, I did a similar thing, but it was at the venue, and I played with two other songwriter women, and we did like a kind of a round style show. And it was a beautiful venue on the stage with the awesome camera work and lights and everything, but it was there was no live audience, so the only live audience was on YouTube or Facebook. So it was interesting. But I mean, yeah, Ed, we've done the Simon and Garfunkel show.
Yep, one of the first things we really, when we were doing mostly live streaming, that was one of the first kind of ticketed shows we did, right?
Yeah. In fact, we should probably do another one. But yeah, it went well. We did charge for that show. We have a Simon and Garfunkel tribute show as well as Witherword, and so we charged people to come to that. And we sold a good amount of tickets actually, and it was pretty. We did the exact same show that we do live, but we did it like this, and it was really interesting experience, and it was cool. I quite enjoyed it, but we've been wrapped up in the podcast, so we haven't been very focused on music, funny enough. We're podcasters now, so.
Yeah.
That's a great, it's such a great idea, and especially when you can't get together in person. I mean, we're lucky we're a couple and we live together, so that wasn't a problem for us, but I mean,
the whole band's here.
The whole band's here. They all show up on time usually. Usually.
Saying nothing about that.
but we have some other friends actually. It's a band, We Are the West. I don't know if you guys know them, but they started a radio show on Malibu radio, and they just they just play music that they like, and it's chill and it's lovely. It's like an evening show. They do it Wednesdays and Thursday nights, and they put one of their songs in the playlist. But I mean, they just did their first streaming concert 3 nights ago. So I think it's a great idea just to keep it in touch with your audience. And, and it gives, us an opportunity to talk about you guys, because we're talking to you now, and we're, we can talk about share the link for the podcast later. And, it's a very creative way to stay in front of people and in people's ears.
Well, and the way that Ashley pointed this out not too long ago, which I honestly hadn't really occurred to me until she mentioned it, that for us, we'd been touring for about 5 years straight, and there's so many things we've done that we've completely forgotten. And so the way we kind of structure this is we try to share like a photo from one of our respective photo albums and tell the story, or try to remember the story behind it. And then it's recorded, so that hopefully if we keep going with this and we have, maybe 50 or 100 of these, we'll have at least 100 plus stories that we would have forgotten otherwise, that are all recorded.
And which is why we invite our friends to come on and tell their stories too, because we want to hear yours. It's an interesting process when you stop and you have to reflect back on what you've done and how you want to move forward in a world where we can't. So it's like keeping the stories alive seems to be the way that I really enjoy getting through, and also like hearing yours as well, because it's something we would do in person. We would meet up at Far West, or we meet up at a show, be like, oh, let's do the show together in LA, and then we'd sit around and share stories, right? And that's how we keep the memory alive. But now we can't do that, so we are here to talk about our stories, and we want to hear yours too, which feels like a really good segue to ask you guys to share a music story with us.
Yeah, whatever you like. Any kind of a story that just kind of resonates with you. It does, just whatever you think would be kind of interesting to hear.
We can talk about Far West, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you guys are talking about Far West, and that's where we met. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
Why did we even go to Far West? I remember it, because I was, we'd been together about a year, and I was looking for other ways, and I'm like, we should do house concerts. And I started writing house concert promoters or hosts. And a couple of them were like, well, are you going to be at the Far West conference? Because I go there to book talent, find new talent every year. And I was like, oh, I don't even know what that is. So I started looking into it. And it did start to sound like a place where we should be. Because otherwise, I mean, we don't have like a strict genre other than acoustic singer-songwriter. And Far West seemed like one of the few places where it made sense to be like that.
I was incredibly skeptical.
Yeah.
I was just like, well, what, this sounds, I just didn't really feel as if it was going to be something that would necessarily help, and it was quite the opposite, when we actually got there. It was so energizing and exciting, and we felt so welcomed as well, which is we felt we found our community. Having struggled so long to find where we should really fit in. It really felt as if we almost stumbled upon it, really, because we hadn't really taken it.
We didn't really prepare very well. I mean, we didn't know we were kind of just going to check it out, and managed to book a few showcases last minute. And I think we walked in the door. We walked in the door the first day, and walked into Lawrence Juber's showcase in the big room. And I don't know, did you guys see him? He's
I don't recall seeing him.
Yeah, you should check him out.
Yeah.
He's so good. And
Guitar wise.
guitar wise. Well, he was what? He was in Wings? No.
He was, he played with Paul McCartney.
He played with Paul
This guy,
McCartney.
this
Oh,
guy,
wow.
Paul, I don't know if you've heard of him. He played with,
Oh, wow.
and then he played Pinball Wizard on one guitar.
On one guitar.
Just the craziest version.
Yeah.
And he said the first time I played this,
Oh, go
I
ahead.
played this to, I played this to the Who, right?
Or Pete Townsend.
He played it to Pete Townsend.
Yeah.
So he got approval straight away. I mean, he's hitting the guitar and it's everything. It's just
Yeah,
mad.
it's great. And so we're both like,
You better go and practice.
We gotta go practice. The guitar practice conference, and then like I think we had seen that you had a showcase, so we looked you up, and then like we ran into you in the hall. And I think that was when we came and said hi to you, Ed, because I think you were sitting by yourself, and
We've
Yeah.
seen your
there's
video.
that guy.
We've seen that
There's
video.
that guy from that Subaru video.
You can't miss Ed. I mean, maybe now that since he shaved his head, but yeah, he draws quite a bit of attention.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, no, in the best way. And so we talked to Ed, and then like I think we turned the corner, we saw the Black Feathers, which if who's watching who don't know, the Black Feathers are this English duo. So we saw you as a duo. We saw this other British duo, and at the time, the guy had this huge mohawk,
Oh, wow.
and is the only guy walking around this folk conference with like full like
Punk hair.
vertical hair.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And like goth, they're like dressed kind of goth, and we're like, whoa, this is way more diverse than I thought.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. Yeah. And then it was so welcoming and cool, and I remember our friend Bernie. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing it. But our friend Bernie was there. He was equally skeptical, and we were all sitting like on the last day. And again, for anyone who doesn't know about these Folk Alliance conferences, they have the floors of hotel rooms that are all converted into little showcase rooms, and the artists just like spend all the late nights lugging their gear around and running from showcase to showcase, one to perform, two to try and see all the talent that is there, which is amazing talent. Mm-hmm. And he and we were like walked in just like, I don't know about this, and then like on the last day we're sitting at that like closing breakfast thing, and we're like, can you believe how awesome this is? And, like, people are so nice. Is this for real? And yeah, that really kind of shifted our and you got to remember understand, we're both from like the pop and rock,
Mm-hmm.
signed artists.
Yeah.
Working with signed artists, and that's really cutthroat and competitive and kind of cold-blooded and
Mm-hmm.
really, really just money-driven instead of song-driven, I guess. And it was just really refreshing, and I mean, we were going to do this anyway, but just to know that you could do it within a community and give support and have support, this just turn our heads around 180 degrees.
Yeah, we felt the same. Honestly, we kind of felt the same way. People had been telling us to go to Far West, and as Ash had, again, much the same way that you had started looking into it. Ash had been trying to get us into more house concerts, and that was where a lot of the hosts were going to be. And other artists had mentioned it too, like whether it was FAI or Far West, they said you should go to some Folk Alliance thing.
Yeah.
And we eventually pulled the trigger and did it, and met so many. The first year we met so many cool people, and the second year we met so many cool people. It was just like, it's kind of just incredible. Incredible community. I don't typically like going to conferences, but that conference is so low key and so low pressure. You can kind of just go, and even as a musician, you feel less pressure to compete. You feel less pressure. You feel more like just actually communicating and talking to other musicians and sharing what you know and all that stuff. I think that's how it should be. So
Yeah, and I hear you. I mean, we came from Nashville.
Yeah.
In threw ourselves into the folk world kind of for a similar reason. I felt like it was kind of cutthroat, and just a lot of a lot of talk and a lot of and less action.
Yes.
And a lot of competitiveness that just I felt like didn't need to exist.
Yeah.
And I don't really feel that way in the folk world. And you really hit the nail on the head too, because you walk, you think you're going to a folk conference, and then there's like a guy in a mohawk. I mean, it's just so it's such a diverse platform, and I love that the folk world is opening up to be such a wider umbrella and so welcoming to other people. And there's and I mean this whole like notion that music is competitive, the music world is competitive, I could not disagree with more. Like how is being a musician more competitive than being a lawyer or being a doctor or a nurse or just whatever you do? I mean, you're some people are going to get ahead, and if you're really passionate and if you're really really good at what you do, then you're going to find some success, and there's always going to be people who are more successful than you, and there's always going to be people who are less successful than you, and we can all exist in this world together and support each other regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Totally agree.
Yeah, and I think we met so many great people, but I've got to mention John and Julie Zipper.
Oh yeah, John and Julie Zipper.
We bought this. So we bought this. Another thing I was very skeptical of. I'm saying this to show how wrong I can be. We bought half the table. We booked half a table in the what was it called?
The
networking center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the worst $60 we've ever spent. What are we doing? And we got there, and it was amazing because we just sat there. We set up, and we met
Lisa Richards.
Lisa Richards, who's this incredible Australian
You
singer,
guys know her?
songwriter.
Yeah.
She's so wonderful.
A beautiful songwriter.
So we were sharing a desk like kindergarten kids, and with her, and so we had a great conversations with her,
Yeah.
and then there was somewhere. I think there was wildfire smoke outside.
Remember it was really
Mhm.
smoky?
yeah.
It was very smoky.
And it
Oh my
drove the
God, that was
mixer.
crazy.
There was a big mixer,
That was supposed to be on the
drinks
patio.
mixer on the patio. It drove them all into. They didn't have nowhere to go, so they all came overspilled into the networking center.
Yep.
So they had drinks, and we could talk to them at the same time. It was great. We met so many people. But John and Julie Zipper were who were instrumental in organising Far West and playing Far West. They were there. And in fact, the first thing happened, we got some John Zipper hand sanitizer.
Oh, the hand sanitizer.
That guy is so ahead of his time.
Wow, it's like he was looking into the future.
That is perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in 2019, hand sanitizer, I didn't even know what it was.
It's nostalgic and useful.
Yeah. And the next thing we know, we're at the Thanksgiving,
Yep.
the next month. I mean, it's just a beautiful community of people who, and Peter Krantz as well, but just people who just really welcomed us in,
Took us under
been
wing.
super supportive of everything that we've done. I mean, it's a dream. Like I don't really think it's it doesn't really feel like that often in the music world in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's been
Well,
lovely.
it helps that you guys are A, really, really nice people, and B, really, really, really talented.
Yeah. That does help.
Very much.
Thank you. You guys too.
Yeah.
How does that community compare with the experiences you've both had? Let's say just in the LA music scene. Like, is your LA scene sort of more localized, or is it more competitive, or is it just, I don't know what your experience has been playing in the LA scene as a duo?
Well, you've been here 20 years, right?
21.
And I've been here 13 now. Oy. And I think that now that I've been here a while, I it's distilled down to a smaller group of people.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of that is, well, I don't know if it's smaller. I mean, okay. Well, you should talk about your because you have a nice group of people around you.
Yeah, I mean, we have.
And,
I guess what certainly happened in LA for me is that in terms of playing gigs as the creative artist, it became almost pointless. It's so hard to get a good slot at a good place, and then you've got the pressure of bringing X number of people, or you'll never get booked again, let alone get paid. I mean, forget getting paid. But it was that whole kind of, it was very, very stressful. I mean, for instance, the Hotel Cafe, which is a wonderful place to play. Minibar, my band, we played every Tuesday. This is back in like 2001, 2002 with a guy called Gary Jules.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
An incredible singer who had a #1 in Britain with a cover of Mad World.
Oh yeah.
From
Nice.
the
Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko.
Oh,
soundtrack.
really?
Yeah, I'm literally teaching that version of that song to 2 of my guitar students right now. So
Right?
Wow.
Isn't it the most beautiful thing?
Yeah.
So before that happened, me, Bar, and Gary, we played it in the Hotel Cafe. Was probably a quarter of the size. They didn't have a beer and wine thing, so we used to go to the 7-Eleven and buy, 18-pack of Tecate to give to our friends, in the cafe, because you're allowed to do that apparently, which is crazy too.
Huh.
And we had these lovely, it was a scene, it was a little thing, and people would come, and it was very, very cool, and it was pretty sloppy, and things tightened up, and it's a great place. It's like a 3-stage venue now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a whole different thing, and it's very cool, but it's a different thing, and
there are younger people hanging out. Gotta
Yeah.
say.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's a younger scene.
Well, I was younger when I was playing the Hotel Cafe too.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the thing. So I guess
It
that's it.
happens. It shifts.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe I'm not saying it changed necessarily the LA scene, but maybe we grew out of the part of our lives where we felt we would be good. It's good to play the Viper Room,
Right.
And that's really why we were looking into house concerts, places where people are actually listening.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it's because we play, quietly.
Yeah, we play
And
quiet music.
We write,
We need
we
a
write
little listening
lyrics
room.
that we like people to hear, if they can.
Yeah.
And so it's just more. We just found it so much more rewarding when we're playing to our friends or playing in a small party, or it's like, well, actually. And when we heard that there was this movement towards much more kind of curated, informal
Mm-hmm. More
house concert
intimate.
series,
Mhm.
we're like, oh wow, that sounds like something that would be more sustainable.
Mhm.
Something that we could actually do where we might making more of a connection with the audience.
Yeah.
Even if they've never heard you before, it's more likely if you can talk to them and if they can hear your songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
That's what we found too in the house
Yeah.
concert circuit is just, better audiences, better hosts, better pay, and more appreciation. Like that's kind of the benefits of them all, and they're in some ways they're sort of the antithesis to most of the venues out there, which the venues are out there to make money for the venues, not necessarily for the artist. And so it's difficult to really do that for any longer than is necessary as an artist. So thankfully house concerts have come along to kind of fill that gap for artists, not even just fiscally, but creatively as well. Like you feel more empowered to actually keep doing what you're doing when you connect with people who are appreciating it. So
Well, and it's so interesting that we're all like, I wonder how do you guys, like Ed, you included, and I'm asking all 3 of you, like, what do you guys think that is going to happen to house concerts? Because obviously that was like the first thing to go, like on our scheduled tours, like all the house concerts were like, okay, we're done because we can't put 60 people over 60 in a small room for 2 hours. It's like the most unsafe thing ever. So all the house concerts are off the table. Like, do you think they're going to come back? Do you think we're going to see a permanent shift or like something that in the middle? Because we had, that's so cool, by the way, that you were in those hotel cafe days where it was really thriving, because I know there was a whole scene and there was hotel cafe tours, and it really broke people's careers to even just play there. And I feel like that age of like playing the cool venue and it breaks your career doesn't exist anymore. And we were kind of moving into the house concerts. So back to my question, like, now what?
Well, I do think it's gonna change, partly because we don't know how long this is gonna go on, and that changes a lot of things. It changes the host. I feel like I mean, maybe it'll be outdoors. I mean, there are people who do backyard concerts. Maybe those will be come back first and just fewer tickets. I know just in the general concert scene, we're seeing stuff like, and this is for larger artists. This isn't for us, but I'm just kind of looking at that as an indicator. We're seeing the drive-in concerts.
Yeah.
And we looked into. I actually have a friend who's in a band who was going to do one down in Orange County, and it sounds really safe, but the tickets are hundreds of dollars for a car. I think they figure there's more than one person in the car, but it's still it's a pricey ticket. And that's because those shows need a lot of bells and whistles, and they need a lot of amplification. I feel like maybe a backyard concert could happen more safely and sooner, because I mean it is a little bit safer outdoors to have people, spaced out, and you're not in air that's recirculating.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that might be something in the warmer months that could happen as soon as it seems safer. Other than that, I mean, it's really hard. It's so heartbreaking. I mean, we're talking about the venues, and the music venues that we kind of have a hard time with, because you have so many roadblocks to making money as an artist with them. But it's so heartbreaking to see so many of them facing closure right now. I don't know what it's going to take for indoor venues, including house concerts, other than just if we can have a deep understanding on what is safe, deeper understanding on what's safe, clear guidelines on that.
My take on it, and I agree with everything you say. I think outdoors is definitely the way that this can come back. I mean, I think that a lot of the venues are going to, if they haven't gone under yet, are going to really struggle, because it's a small margin.
It's already
for them
hard
too.
For them to be
I
profitable.
have a friend who booked four. His job was to book these four chain of music venues on the East Coast, and 2019 he made a profit on every single gig, he said, which is an incredible thing to do in New York.
And they pay the bands.
And pay the bands.
Yeah.
He pays the bands really well. So everything worked out, but he worked insanely hard for this to happen. He was so proud of it. That was 2019.
Yeah.
March 2020, there's no job. There's nothing. He's gone because, and he was also saying, I don't think it's going to come back, because if I'm, busting everything I can, and I'm getting the best artists, and I'm just really selling this place, and I'm really making work. And I know so many people now, and I'm using all of my skills. When we got full houses, we make a bit of money. Everyone makes a bit of money. But if you've got a venue where a third of the people,
right, you can only
have a third of the people, or 20, if any percentage other than 100% of the people you can have there. He's just like, there's no way you can make a profit. I know, because I know how hard it is, and because I've done it successfully, and that kind of made me go, oh. So even if these venues stay open,
they're going to have hard going.
There'll be less gigs, I think, less availability for venue gigs. So maybe there's going to be a whole new wave of
the different
park
kind of
performances and. There is a demand. I know the demand for live music is still huge.
People want it to come back. People want miss concerts. Miss live music. Miss that communal experience of listening to music together and singing together, and then having that experience together. So I mean, there's going to be a large demand for it. Whoever can figure out how to do it so that people can be safe. That. I think it's just, it's the industrial revolution of our industry.
Exactly. That's a good way of putting it.
Right.
I think I agree. I think that house concerts will probably be first to come back, mainly because their overhead's so low compared to a venue. Like they've got, a lot of people who put them on, own, or maybe they have a mortgage on their place, but that's it, really. Like, it's not like they're having to pay business license fees and liquor license fees and all these other fees and fees and fees on top of that in order to run their venue. So yeah, when there are clearer guidelines in how you can be safe outdoors and possibly indoors, then yeah, I agree. I think house concerts will probably come back first. And but as far as the regular venues go, yeah, there's going to have to be a different business model that comes by that makes sense for everybody, because I think artists hopefully at this point are kind of taking stock of their own worth. And, some of them hopefully are saying, yeah, we could do this. We could slog away and do this, playing to nobody for no pay, or we can go do the house concerts, or we can start our own thing and own all of the money and own all the stuff. Like, I think a lot of artists I think there are some artists who probably won't go back to the old way. In addition to venues that don't do things the old fashioned way. So,
and I feel like there is a new thing on the horizon. It's just hard to know exactly what that is, like,
yeah.
I don't know well, I think house concerts might trickle back in. I think it's going to take a long time for hosts and audiences to feel comfortable enough to go into that setting, unless it's, like you said, a backyard setting. But
Yeah.
I did hear an interesting model. I don't know how effective this would be, but somebody told me there's a concert promoter in the central coast of California that told me about this model, and I haven't seen it done yet, but where you do like a house concert, like a house concert host would have a premium show. So there's a limited number of people who can show up, maybe 10 people, right? And the tickets, instead of being $20 a person or maybe $50 a person, which sounds like a lot, but I mean, people aren't going to, 30 concerts a year anymore. They're going to, especially in the new model, they're maybe going to 10 tops. So it's like you're still spending the same amount or less on concerts. It's just more, you have to be more selective about it. But then online, you also have the online streaming thing. So there's like a $50 ticket premium to actually be there, limited at 10 people. But so everybody can join. Then it's like an extra $5 to watch online as well. And I thought it was an interesting idea to kind of like marry the two together. And I was like, well, I asked this concert promoter, I'm like, is this something you're gonna start and do, and I should give you credit for? And he's like, no, I just kind of want to see it happen. So
That's an interesting model.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, because it does. I mean, that, like I said, one of the advantages, one of the silver linings of this time has been being able to play. Not have to go out on tour physically, and still being able to play for people all over the world.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice solution to that. Yeah, that's cool. But I mean,
it's a lot of organizing, though, right? Like it would take somebody who's both tech savvy and also, I don't know,
Take some clever marketing, I think. To really
clever
make
marketing and like, how do you? Yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested to try one and see how it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, well, I mean, we didn't really have an audience there, but yeah, that's totally possible in event. I mean, this is where I feel like this is the thing in the music industry right now. You've got the big concerts, you've got the little guys like us, and they're like, there's no like coalition of people from all the different parts of the industry trying to figure out, how to do this.
Yeah.
In the interim, and maybe, because I think the first maybe 6 months we're like, oh, we'll just wait it out and the numbers will go down, and then they're going like this. And I mean, we can kind of manage to get through, but Live Nation, I'm like, what? Are these guys not trying to figure out how to do this?
Yeah, what are they going to do? Yeah.
Yeah.
With the rest of us. But that's, I guess that was kind of an aside, because
no, it's fair enough. It's because your day job, Sally's day job, usually involves touring the world and playing in huge stadiums and or in huge enclosed arenas.
Yeah.
And that's a
Well,
lot.
well
That's a lot.
tell the audience a little bit more about Celia's day job, because it is very interesting.
Celia is a backup singer and duet star. I'm going to say that of the Enrique Iglesias world tour.
Oh my goodness.
And has been for the last 7 years, right? So she's part of the Latin pop. In fact, he was just voted
He was just voted
GOAT.
greatest of all time.
I saw
Latin.
that.
Wow.
Super smart. Which I was like, oh wow, I'm like, it's kind of a weird thing to be like, I'm home all year, but you know what? I still work for that guy, so
Right.
it's kind of a nice thing to happen.
That's so cool. And you've done a duet with him? Is that what you said?
What's that?
You've sung a duet with him?
I sing a couple of duets with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just the duet singer, duet specialist.
Well,
And in some,
there's
in- in-
no, because Debbie
Debbie
and Laura was the previous. There's another backup singer in the band who does a different songs with him as well. But I have 2 duets with him, which is nice, depending on what set we do.
That's so
It's really funny when I'm in the audience. I actually really enjoy this show too.
Yeah.
I've been to many gigs, and I'm in the audience, and when they're singing "Loco,"
We have a slow dance.
they're fighting, and then they have a slow dance, and every woman in the entire place is just, I would say to the person next to me, "That's actually my girlfriend," and they're like, "No way!" They can't believe it.
And he'll whip out his cell phone and
I'm
go,
like,
"No,
"Yeah,
look."
there she is."
They're like, yeah, right.
Oh, give anything to be Celia at that moment. It's brilliant.
It's a pretty great job.
It's a great
I
job.
gotta say.
It's a great job, but when will it come back?
When will it come back? We don't know.
Yeah.
These
We're
arenas.
waiting.
Well, how do you deal with that? 30,000 people just getting somewhere, let alone being somewhere. And
Yeah.
oh my God, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to
But
work.
there are that many people that wanted to come back. So that's
Yeah.
the good news. We'll have people waiting for us when we come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, people are so desperate to hear,
Hungry,
which is great.
But I think the hybrid thing, that is a cool idea. It's a good transition, at least.
We kind of did. We did something for a friend of Celia's. Her husband's a big fan, and it was his birthday, and she said, "Would you come to the house?
That's right.
Play a live show, just the two. It would just be the two of us.
Just the two of them
audience
in their
is the
backyard.
2 of us, and we'll be socially distanced the entire time. But could you do your setup where you put the live streaming cameras up, and then his friends can be invited to the live stream
Right.
for this kind of
So it's like a
virtual party.
private
Private show.
but virtual.
With social distance,
Yeah.
which is okay for us.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think
There
we
was
felt-
plenty of when it was in there. I was outdoors. And they were plenty distance from us the whole time.
Yeah.
It's quite funny.
They were so sweet.
They were so funny. They got very excited, and the guy who was running around behind us, got quite a long
They
way
were
behind
very
us,
concerned
waving at
about
all of
keeping
his
distance.
friends, and then sort of dancing. And it was fun.
Yeah, it was super fun.
It was fun, and I guess that's kind of that's on that.
That was
on
a
that
hybrid
tip.
show.
It was a hybrid show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it worked great.
Can
And we
work.
got paid. We got a guarantee for that. So
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
I think it could
Wow.
work. I think it could
Yeah.
work. I especially agree as maybe like a transition back into maybe larger or more normal sized concerts, or just as a nice. I think there's been this push in the past few years for sort of a kind of putting a premium on the experience, and I think this can be an evolution of that. So that's kind of what I think of. So I remember Ari Herstand kind of talking about that, like putting a premium on your experiences, selling like VIP tickets and all kinds of stuff, and backstage meets and all this kind of stuff. Well, a way to ease back into all that is to put a premium on the show itself.
Especially like at a time where I'm we're all used to playing I mean, it's our jobs, you know, for you guys and for me and Ed. So we're used to playing like 4 or 5 times a week, right? So if we can only play once a week, then it would be a chance to like make more money at one show and still keep it as our jobs. And I think, like I said, people would be going to less concerts. So I don't know if there would be enough of them, but it would be a nice way to kind of trickle things back into as we start to normalize eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But quick question, Celia, do you, my friend Virginia is watching, and she's I know her from Nashville, and she mentioned, she wants to know if you know Wendy Martin. She toured with
I do
Enrique
not.
as well.
I do not, and I'm sorry to say.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been this is Enrique's 25th year in the business, and so I'm just in the latest touring band. So,
Yeah, okay.
I don't know which iteration she was. Yeah.
If I recall, if I recall correctly, I feel like it might have been Enrique Iglesias who had like one of the first like Grammy-winning albums that was done digitally, or something
really?
like that. It was a Latin artist who like did an album entirely in Pro Tools, like back when Pro Tools was still like in the realm of like, you know, rich people and big studios, and it won an award. And I think it was Enrique Iglesias.
Oh, I never heard that. But it's
Yeah, I don't know
possible.
that.
Yeah, it might
He
have been
probably-
him.
Yeah, if of anyone, he would have had the resources to do that, even way back when. Yeah.
Yeah, back when Pro Tools
So
wasn't
that-
a household name, pretty much, you know, and that kind of helped it become a household name. It's like, oh, okay, engineers are like, all right, now I guess this is worth it because here this person won a Grammy with an album done entirely digitally. So,
Yeah. Well, that
Changing the face of
been
music.
late 90s or
Yeah.
late
Yeah, late
90s.
yeah, it was somewhere around there.
Wow. Fun fact. I don't know that.
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up. Yeah.
I wanted to talk really quickly about your songwriting process, because I mean, you know, as we're duo, we have a songwriting process that changes pretty much almost every time that we write a song. But is there a particular process that you two have as a duo, or is it just like does it really depend on the song?
Well, I know it's funny. We got asked about this last week too. Remember? When we started our process, when we started writing, or when we started working together, we basically, like when we met way back in 2013, 2014, you asked me to sing on your record, Sad Carousel, and then we were actually just listening today to a track that you helped me write the bridge on, because I got stuck on a bridge for a record that I'm still working on. So we started by just bringing each other our material and saying, can you help me with this, or can you sing on this, or can you play on this? Fast forward to Petty Chavez, which, what did we start, 2017? And then we really started starting a song with the intention of it being for Petty Chavez and helping each other complete them.
Basically,
right?
I don't know if you feel like this, but we did the, you know, songwriting is the last frontier of intimacy. You know, it really is. You've got to really trust the person you're writing a song with, and I think we were both a bit shy of it, to be honest. We didn't want to mess everything else up.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You
had
know,
to wait until
we were
the
so happy to
relationship
be
was
together.
like-
We didn't want to, you know, there was a little bit. It was I remember
Well,
I
do
was
you want
tentative.
to correct our history? Because Ed said, sounds like you said in the introduction, sounds like they've been together since they met at that David Bowie concert.
Oh,
That's
yeah, no,
not,
it's
that's
a-
not true.
no.
Oh.
There's
Yeah.
many. There was a lot of. Yeah.
It's a
Many-
Winding road, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Many twists and turns before we finally
and
got back together.
detours. Yeah.
But yeah, we took our sweet time, but it worked out
Yeah.
great in the end. I
So-
think we're both, you know, have careers as singer-songwriters in our own right beforehand. So some of the songs were just songs that we'd already had. In fact, this is very sweet actually. But two of the songs I wrote for Celia when we first met.
Is during our courtship period.
Our 2-week courtship period. Yeah, I managed to. Yeah, I did the cheesy cheapo songwriter trick of your Christmas present is this song.
Nice.
You know?
I love that trick.
Man.
Yep.
It works
but we
really
still
well
play
when
that
you
song
have
to
a
this day,
significant
thank
other that's
goodness.
not a musician.
What'd you say? Sorry.
I said it works even better when you have a significant other that's not a musician.
Oh, you see, she was going. Yeah, that's so kind of you, but could you just tweak the end of verse 2?
Yeah,
what about
right.
modulation after the bridge?
Yeah, but then after 3 years, it's like, yeah, oh cool, another song. All right, great. How about a T-shirt?
Oh. I have to buy us some jewelry one day. So we both had these others. We had songs ready, you know, but it's been a natural process. I think the ones that we've written together as us comes from a phrase or somebody says something, and then someone comes up with something else, and then it kind of it's actually been quite an organic process.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. I mean, is that I don't know how it is with you guys, but it's kind of like that. It kind of becomes a puzzle game. It's like I have this piece and I have this piece. Do you have a piece that fits? You know?
My God, I
Yeah.
love music puzzles.
That's a lot of a number of songs we've done together have been like that. Like Tall was like that. I had the verses and I had the chords and the melody, but I did not have the chorus for the words for the chorus. I just couldn't figure anything out. And then Ash was like, "Oh, what about this?" And then it was done.
Oh, such a relief.
Yeah, and same with like chords mostly with Ed. I'm like, I don't, or sometimes I'll have lyrics. I'm like, I don't know how to put this to music, and he'll just kind of do it, and it's like,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, each one is different. Each one is like a puzzle, but each time it's been a little different for us as far as who started the song or who had the idea or who contributed what or how it became a thing. You know, it's been different every time, which is actually kind of neat. I like that.
Have you ever written a song for each other to sing without the other person there? Because I've done that once, and I'm wondering if you've ever done that. So, Ed, have you ever written a song for Ashley to sing?
No, but we should.
I don't think so.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I don't think we've done
And vice
that.
versa. You're not getting off the hook.
That would be such a cool
Fred.
exercise, though.
Yeah, for sure.
I would love to write a song for you to sing, Ed. I'm just too egotistical to think of it on my own.
Well, Celia was away on tour, so that must have been last year, and we didn't. I felt as if we didn't have enough of her singing lead, and so I had this idea for a song, and I was writing it, but I was writing it on my own. It's all like it's really sweet finger picking, high up the neck, 2K pose. It's just really nice. But then there's me going, so I'm trying to keep it in the right range for her.
You can imagine. I got home. He's like, "Honey, I've written a song for you to sing."
Oh,
It works out
beautiful.
It sounds lovely now. But yes, it was torturous for everybody concerned.
No, that's a good exercise, though. I agree. We should try that. I don't believe we've done that before.
No, I would love to do that.
Yeah, that's a good. That would be a really fun time.
But I have sung a couple a couple of times, and I keep meaning to do it more, and then I get like a little shy about it or something. I don't know, but I've done, like, Ed wrote the song "Hand of Fate." We actually played the music video on today's show, funny enough, but and he sings the lead and I sing a harmony on it. But there at a couple of solo shows, I've done the lead on it, and it takes an entirely new face. And
you play it differently too, don't you? Like you play it a little differently, right?
I think I tried to finger pick it. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I have to do that again. It's hard because when you're you've got the harmony so ingrained. It's like it's hard in your head. It almost becomes the melody to you. You know, so it's really really hard. I think maybe that's why I didn't do it again because I was like, oh, this is so hard. But I should because it's kind of that's a fun exercise too.
I remember before we would play the show or play that song, sometimes you'd kind of do it, and I would hear it. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I do remember that.
Oh, yeah, I finger pick it. Right? Finger pick it. I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys
Swap
are inspiring
roles.
us.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Here, you play this. You play my guitar.
Right.
Yeah, well,
I
we've
kinda
done
did.
that before too. In fact, that is what I don't have it with me, but I just bought my first electric guitar because we were at a gig, and my guitar it's like stopped working or something. I don't know.
We don't know what happened.
Yeah, my acoustic guitar just wasn't working anymore. So Ed had his bass. We had our violinist and / mandolinist with us. And then I had no acoustic guitar. So it was basically like, okay, well, I'm going to have to play the electric for the rest of the show. And Ed's going to have to play bass for the rest of the show because there wasn't really another way around it. And a couple of the songs, we were like, ooh, that's how this needs to be done. So I went out and I bought myself an electric guitar because of that. And I kind of like had thought about it before, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. That kind of really drove it home for me it just changes the song, really.
No, totally. It's a different instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really fun, though. I'm
me.
glad she has one now because it's really exciting to hear all the songs that she normally plays through an electric. That's super cool.
I'm very scared of it.
Yeah. I actually just picked up I didn't plug it in, but I picked up my electric guitar last night, and I used to play it all the time. I used to live in New York, and I almost exclusively gigged with an electric semi-hollow body guitar. And man, I picked it up, and I was just like, oh. And the other thing is that guitar is in standard tuning, and when we play, I'm in open E tuning. So I don't play in standard tuning that often anymore. And I was thinking, oh, it's just, as far as songwriting, we're talking about songwriting, but it's just, you do something different. You just do one thing different, and it shifts your brain into, I don't know, into just another space.
Yeah.
And, just doing something as small as that, changing from acoustic to electric, and just make you go,
Yeah.
Totally. It's so
true.
weird. It
It's very
changes
true.
so much.
Well, we have a time for one more question for y'all, and this is something we ask everybody.
Oh wait, can I ask them one more question before
so we have time
you
for
ask?
2 more questions. Go ahead.
Because I just remembered that we're going to ask them if they have any tips for songwriting for our audience.
Oh yes. Yeah.
I did it.
Like a tip or a
Yeah,
couple tips, whatever.
Because we've got our tips and tricks section coming up next, and that's the tips and tricks of the day. And so we thought we would ask you guys if you have anything to share, anything quick or that might help either a novice or a beginner songwriter.
I have a good trick. If you're finding you're playing the same chords, try dropping the D, the low D down. Or what I actually like to do is put a capo on the 2nd fret and then leave the bottom E string open, and then you can play in D, and the whole guitar changes. And then you get all these different voicings, and it's just basically either detune something or go into a different tuning or put a capo half on somewhere. And so that your guitar doesn't sound the same and doesn't do the same thing as it normally does. And it probably doesn't sound great to start with, but then eventually you start hearing stuff, and then you get a little thing, the little riff that works. And I think the stimulus of having a different sound coming out of your guitar and a different set of chords is good it's just good. And then you can, then you're going to write hopefully something different lyrically too.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I'm going to use
Mess
that.
up your guitar, basically, and see what happens.
I'm totally going to use that. That's a great tip.
Yeah, Absolutely.
I agree with that
Absolutely.
too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Um,
I've,
is there anything that you had, Celia?
you know what? I'm gonna say, just read a bunch.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
anything. I mean, read stories. I teach voice and vocal harmony and stuff. So I'm reading a bunch now, trying to get, just get my vocabulary around that and my knowledge base around that expanded. And I'm also reading, I'm reading a book of short stories, and it's just like people, we use words and in rhythm, and I mean, there's different rhythms that different writers use. I don't know. I just find when I really sit down and with a real book, that introduces those rhythms and that vocabulary that I wouldn't choose myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of just does kind of the same thing as detuning your guitar. It just opens up a couple of new synapses paths in my brain, and
Yeah.
might make me think of a phrase, or maybe I see a phrase, or I don't know. It's even funny because we just got sent someone may want us to write a piece of commercial music, and we got the brief, and even just reading like the line in the brief, I heard it da, 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 the rhythm of the words.
Yeah.
I could hear the tune go along with it, and so
Did you? Oh,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I know. It's good.
I got nothing.
Yeah, reading. Good,
That's a great tip.
good writing.
Another really, really good tip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I do that. I'll pick up words and phrases from TV shows I'm watching, or sometimes I'll hear people say sentences and I'll be like, oh, especially if it's a songwriter, I'm gonna like not tell them I wrote it down as a song for later. So yeah, it's like you could pick up inspiration from all those things, and books is, I mean, there's probably not a better place to get beautiful language ideas than that. So it's a really good tip.
Yeah, and just imagery. There's a lot of great imagery also that, again, is beyond my own limited experience. So
Yeah.
I think that's all we're trying to do is just like break out of our own limited experience, so we can
Yeah, especially now.
think about the world, right, in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so our final question, again, that we ask everybody, is if you could have any superpower, what would you choose?
So besides our usual ones, we have to think of.
Besides the ones you already clearly have, what would you choose?
This is a joke. This is a joke with us because, like, can we share our superpowers first, and then we have to think of new ones?
No, they're not shareable.
They're not shareable. Okay.
Oh boy.
What do you want?
What do I want? I would like to fly.
Yeah.
I just would like to fly.
That's Ed's.
Yeah, that's mine. I'd like to fly too.
I would like that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
on the
You guys can
world.
fly
I
together.
can't have fly, right? So that's not.
Did we
You can
gonna
have
say
If
fly.
you want.
There's no
Oh.
rules.
No, can I change it? You can have fly.
Oh, I can have fly.
I thought of a different one.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'd like to fly. You can see how this relationship works.
No, what do you really
What do
want?
you want to say?
I was gonna say, okay, I would like to
Say-
fly, but I also would like to be able to communicate with animals and plants.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Cool. And plants.
So we'll swap. We'll keep swapping those around. 'Cause I like
Grow
that
me an
too.
orange, please. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? I mean, you can share your superpowers. That's fine.
Yeah.
They could be Petty Chavez superpowers.
I
Yeah.
think you can only have one at a time.
Okay.
They only work when you're
Maybe like
together.
the Wonder Twins. You guys know are you guys old enough to know about the Wonder Twins?
I've heard of the Wonder Twins.
Yeah.
I'm American enough.
Oh, you're not American.
No.
No. Did you say yes, Ashley, or no?
Yeah. I mean, it's fuzzy, but I'm going to do a quick Google thing and see if I have my visual is failing me.
I've heard of the Wonder Twins before, but I've never
Okay.
watched any of it.
Yeah. They're just basically alien twins who can activate superpowers, and one of them can be like shape of a polar bear.
Yeah.
And they'll change into, and the other one be like form of ice.
Yeah.
And somehow that combination becomes exactly what they need to solve the problem facing them in that moment of the cartoon.
We'll be like that.
So it could be like the musical Wonder Twins.
It's the musical Wonder
It's
Twins.
adorable.
With interchangeable powers.
Maybe we should have that Petty Chavez, the musical Wonder Twins. Always working on them, always doing the PRs.
She did. Wonder Twins activate. Absolutely. Wonder Twins powers activate. They had these 2 rings, right? And like you would hear, you got to fist bump me. You'd have a ring and I'd have a ring, and then it'd be like, psh.
Yeah. Kind of
And
like,
then
what was the other one that worked like that? Was it Kazam that worked like that too, or something like that? There were a lot of rings that you put together.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, was it a Green Lantern, maybe?
Oh, maybe. I can't remember.
I don't know.
I just know there was one. There was like a ring you put together. I'm fine with that. That sounds like a good answer to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever shared yours?
Yeah, mine
Yeah.
is to fly for sure because I just like the freedom of it.
I'm getting bored with mine.
I think yours changes each time.
No, it's been the same each time,
Oh.
but I want to change it. It's so weird. It's like a friend of mine told me that I have precision. He said I have laser precision vocals, like as far as like pitch goes, which is an awesome compliment because it's a producer friend of mine. And I just decided that was my superhero power, is to just like sing lasers into bad guys, and that's how I save the world. But it was really exciting like 2 months ago, and now I'm bored with it. I'm gonna have to think of something else.
Sounds like you need to pick a new one.
Yeah.
Mine's
Or
just like
me,
so
you could let
surface
Celia
level.
pick one for you.
What's that?
Or like me, you could just let Celia pick one.
Celia,
superpower
what's
for
my
you.
superhero power?
Maybe I should not do that. Is that what you're saying, honey?
We can give you time to think about it. That's fine.
Yeah,
you don't
you
have to
can get back to
decide
me.
right away.
Sleep on it.
Yeah.
I do this every
Yes.
Sunday, so.
Well, this has been super fun. We are so delighted that you both could join us. Where can people find you on the internet and perhaps elsewhere?
What can you say? Because it sounds.
If you go to pettychavezmusic.com, just what we do,
That's the
music.com. That's probably the easiest way to find us.
Yes. Oh, look.
Oh my
There's a handy
goodness.
cue card for us here.
Wow.
Yes, pettychavezmusic.com is our. Thanks, Ashley or Ed.
Awesome.
That's our main website, and then Instagram. We're also on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. Although we actually need the followers, we need to work on our social media. But we're on YouTube, and then there was something else I wanted to mention that I can't remember. Oh, Bandcamp.
You are on Bandcamp. My mom just asked if you were on Bandcamp. So
We are. Thank you.
And you can buy our music on Bandcamp actually, which is fantastic.
Well, and what
Or you
we're
can just get it
starting
free
to
everywhere.
do.
You get it free everywhere else, but go to Bandcamp and you have to buy it.
Listen free on Spotify. But you buy it on Bandcamp, and we actually are starting to kind of re-release some of our older releases as solo artists on our Petty Chavez page because
cool.
they really, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're available on Apple Music, but you can buy them directly from us. And that's kind of cool because then we can thank you personally. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And they do so often. They do a Friday where they
right.
waive their fees as well, so we get all the money from the purchase.
Bandcamp days.
Bandcamp.
Yeah, they've been
the
doing
first
that
Friday.
more often.
Yeah, a lot of our fan base is real big fans of independent music, so they understand the importance of Bandcamp, so you can get the money.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely share your Bandcamp link to our people.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
We love Bandcamp.
and
We are
yeah,
grateful for Bandcamp these days.
you guys should follow Petty Chavez music because it's so hard on this podcast because we always want you guys to play a song live, but it's just the quality is just not there. So we just talk, and then we drop links and give people a chance to share, to check it out on their own, because it's just never, the calling in quality is just not as good. So we highly recommend Petty Chavez, because they're amazing, and walked into the Far West Conference not knowing what they were walking into, and walked out as like one of the highlights of Far West for us and so many others
Absolutely.
too.
Thank you, guys.
You guys were that for us too. I remember going into your showcase in the big room, just going, "Oh, we know those guys now."
Yeah.
We're all friends.
They're so nice.
Look at her on the big stage.
And I was like, I will make them my friends.
Yeah. When Ashley's determined to have somebody as friends, it's going to happen. So,
Yeah, basically.
and I just get to enjoy the benefits of it. So.
Well, Ed just like sits in the corner and people just come talk to him. So I don't really have that as much.
Yeah.
It's more like when I walk around Far West by myself, it's more like, who are you? What band are you in? I'm like, God, nobody recognizes me unless I'm with Ed. Seriously.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's real. The struggle is real.
Aw. Well, we know you because you were like, "There's that girl from the Subaru video."
Oh.
Yeah, see?
Oh my God. I won't say who it is because he's such a nice guy, but there was a guy that was walking around with, he was holding our purple bag with our logo on it, with our Witherword logo on it, because we gave him out the year before, and he still had it. And I walked up to him, I was like, "Oh, Witherword bag." And he goes, "Yeah, so what band are you in?"
Oh
Don't.
Yeah, he's so nice. He felt so
I
bad.
know, he's a really nice guy.
He felt
That's like-
horrible.
That's like Spinal Tap. Where are they now? While they're like,
Yeah.
I was like, "Ed, come back. Where are you?"
You could just get like a cardboard cutout of Ed,
Well, that's true. You can do that.
carry it around with you.
Good.
I'll work on that for next year. Just in case. Because I tend to just wander off on my own.
He does.
So
He disappears.
she needs a cardboard cutout.
As a cat. We're like,
Yeah.
"Where did he go?"
I'm
And
like a
then
cat.
how is he here again?
We're gonna say goodbye for now, but hopefully we'll
Aw.
be able to chat again with you in the future, and hopefully we'll be able to maybe play a show together, or at least be spectators at some point.
Weren't we trying to plan that, Ashley, before this all went down? We were talking a little bit about that.
We were,
Oh,
and I would
man.
love to discuss that again.
Yeah.
We should think about doing like a live stream event together or something too, you
Yeah,
guys.
certainly do that.
Yeah.
Double
I
live?
know.
That'd be awesome. That's
Some-
easy to do.
Yeah, right?
True enough.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see each other in person before 2022.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Ashley, where are you in California again? You're down like on one of the beaches?
I'm in San Diego, so it's the area. I'm kind of inland, but I moved here with my now fiance, Brad.
Yay.
So-
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we got engaged, and I decided that since I didn't have anything better to do, I would just move in with him. Since
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I should be in Germany right now, but instead I'll just move in and get engaged because that's what we're doing these days. But it's good. It's kind of nice to have that forced break. I won't lie. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys take care
Yeah, you too.
and
It's so
be
good.
safe out there.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
And thank you
All
again
right.
for joining us. We'll share all of your links and stuff in our show notes. Everybody has the info, so no one has an excuse not to
Nice.
check out Petty Chavez. So
Thanks, you guys. So great to see you.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you.
So
Take
good
care.
to see you.
bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye. I feel like this podcast is like our social event too.
Oh, absolutely. For our fans and for us with our musician friends and other disciplines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a social hour, isn't it? Where you
Yeah.
get to catch up and like share news or things like that, you know.
Yeah, we get to like talk to you guys, all of you in the chat who
Yeah.
are listening and commenting now. And then we get to interview cool people we've met along the way and
Yeah.
introduce you to them too. It's like Sundays are awesome. I love it.
And another part of the stories that we remember too, because you know, along with just us stories in our lives, we also have stories with these people too.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of fun, you know.
Yeah.
And the Petty Chavez, they're just so nice.
They
It's
really
just
are.
it's great to talk to really nice people. Like
Yeah.
they're super nice people and just incredible musicians and songwriters, but more importantly than that, just really nice people.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely check them out when you get a chance.
Yeah. Nice people are the best.
Yeah. So next we'll share a few songwriting tips of our own
Uh-huh.
that we have collected over the years. Because I mean, you know, I've written a lot of music, but not as much as Ashley has written. So we both have some.
Well,
we both collected some good information.
Ed, I think
would
yours
say.
is quality over quantity.
Well, it's
I write fast and I write a lot, but I don't always keep the stuff that I write. And some of you support me on my solo Patreon page, and I do release a new song every week on that. But
yeah.
I mean, often, honestly, some of the songs I put up on there, I'm like, well, I've pledged to put up a new song every week. I don't really like this song, but it's what I've got, and I'll put it up there. So I kind of just put everything out there, and then pay attention to what people are attaching themselves to, and kind of what becomes popular always surprises me, because sometimes my favorite songs are not somebody else's, and sometimes I'm like, this isn't a very good song, and I'll release it, and other people are like, what, this is an amazing song. So you know, I don't know, I think you tend to write slower and more methodical and with intention, and so I just think it's different.
Honestly, can that be the first tip in front of the one that you put here? Because there's an interesting analog that really aligns with, and in the software industry, people are concerned with what you ship. Then ship means something you've released out to the public. And one of the things that you know, when people are learning to code and people are doing that kind of stuff, they say, you know, just make stuff and ship it. Don't worry about how good it is. Just ship it. And I think that is invaluable advice especially for first-time songwriters, because you know, novice songwriters, you get so self-conscious anyway about songwriting. I think regardless of what level you're at, you get self-conscious about your songwriting and sharing it with people. But getting over that hump will only get you to write more. I think when you just write a song, you're like, okay, I'm going to write this song today, and I'll spend 3 days on it, and then after that it's done, I'm going to release it in whatever form it's in. It's not like you can't change it later.
Right.
But
totally,
you can change it later.
You can change it later.
You know, as you get better, as you get more knowledge, as you get more experience, you can go back and see that song you wrote, and you're like, oh, I think I want to change this to this. And guess what?
Yeah.
Now you've got 2 songs.
Well, you can also release it and get feedback on it, and then release it again later. I mean, that's kind of why I like my Patreon, my solo Patreon page, which, by the way, if you want to find my solo Patreon page, it is patreon.com/thevagabondvoice. And it's like I throw it out to a select group of people and then get thoughts on it, and then you can change it from there. And I do. I got some. There's a song I just wrote called "Dying Left to Do," and some of the feedback I got on it was like, it's a great song, but it seems a little bit masculine. I think you should kind of lighten it up a little bit, and which I thought was a fantastic suggestion. I'm currently reworking the lyrics, so it works, you know, and so those opinions that you guys give are really valuable, and you can find your own community. You know, there's open mics you can play stuff at and test out songs and change as necessary. Even online open mics, those are huge right now. Facebook groups and Instagram communities, just Band Lab, whatever you're on, you can share stuff with a smaller community before you're ready to release it to a bigger community. So
Yeah.
I think that is a great tip in Nike terms. Just do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's, especially again when you're first starting out, that is one of the biggest things, is just to actually make something and put it out there, and then it'll encourage you to make more stuff. I think most of the time it'll encourage you to make even more stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Cool. So that is point number 1. Yeah, and the point number 2, I kind of was just thinking about you know, one of the questions we get asked a lot is, which do you like writing with, lyrics or music first? And I think that's something newer writers are like, when if you want to write a song, you're like, what do I start with, lyrics? What do I write, music first or lyrics first? You're gonna just have to just do it and play around and see what works for you. And if you're like if you're already a songwriter, it's actually an interesting exercise for you to pay attention to, like, wait, what do I start with, lyrics or music? And sometimes it's both. And I think my tip and suggestion, and I do this for myself, and Simon was actually talking about it a little bit, by changing changing the D to something else, like just do something different than what you're used to doing, and it's really going to put you in a different headspace, and you'd be amazed what you can come up with. Like, if you typically write lyrics first, try coming up with a chord structure and play that chord structure, and then try writing something over that, just because it's really going to strengthen your ability as a songwriter overall. And you might be surprised yourself what you come up with.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Next tip is to co-write. And then co-write, and then co-write some more. You're gonna get this kind of touches back on what we were talking about with collaboration last week when Michelle was on. But you just, the old adage goes, 2 heads are better than 1, and yeah, usually that's true. And especially with co-writing, it's fun to kind of bounce ideas off of people. That, especially if someone you trust, someone you're used to writing with, then you just get that extra perspective that you probably wouldn't get otherwise. And it'll strengthen your own songwriting as well, your own solo songwriting as well, when you start co-writing with other people. There's a few different ways you can do this. One of them is going to Nashville. And Nashville is unique in this regard because I think it's because it's kind of a smaller town. It's easier to kind of meet up with people, and it just has this tradition, I would say, of co-writing, like 2, 3, 4, even 5 people in a room sometimes writing a song or writing a bunch of songs. Co-writing's kind of ingrained in their consciousness there. So if you really just want to dive right in, Nashville is a good place to start. It's not like those communities don't exist in other cities, but Nashville is kind of where it's king.
And they do. I mean, I think it's weird how you go to Nashville and when you want to co-write with somebody in Nashville, they'll show you the way. Yeah. Don't write with somebody new in Nashville. Go get into a songwriting session with someone who knows how to work a songwriting session a little bit. And then you're like, oh, and it makes so much sense. And it's not that you have to write the Nashville co-writing way, but it's like a, it's a working system, and it's really interesting to jump into that. And if you're not into it, you can try something else, but it's a fantastic way to kind of learn a different way of songwriting, and you might just like it and stick with it.
Yep. If you have musician friends that you regularly hang out with, just see if they want to co-write with you. Ask them, say, hey, I have this song idea. Do you want to kind of pitch in and help me finish it? And a lot of times, again, that can kind of help you figure out what your process is going to be, whether you enjoy working with lyrics more, or you enjoy working with melody or chord progression more, or structure, that sort of thing. You can kind of figure out your own solo way of working by working with somebody else. Ask someone to write a track you can write lyrics to, or sing over, or play over if you're an instrumentalist. That way you can kind of practice your lyric construction and your melodic construction as well. If you have, if you're not so good at figuring out what chords you want to put together, ask someone to put them together for you. Because if they're really good at that, you can collaborate easily by just having someone create sort of the skeleton of a song, and you can put in melody and or lyrics. And again, now since we're social distancing and we're isolating, figure out a way to do it over Skype or Zoom. I mean, Zoom especially now, they're really working on their audio quality, so that's not much of an excuse anymore. Finally. Or if you work a system together like Ash and I have with Jamulus, sometimes it's even easier. If you've got a friend in town who you want to jam with and write with, something like Jamulus can make that a lot easier. So you can write together.
I do. I've written a few songs with people over Skype and Zoom. It's been pretty fun.
Nice.
I like it. Yeah. I mean, it's like a little bit. It takes a little bit of getting used to the new way, but then you just kind of sort it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the last one, this one is really important to me. This is probably my biggest tip and trick, and I keep it used to be an actual notebook, but now I just keep it on my phone, like a virtual notebook pad kind of a thing. Write down ideas as soon as they pop in your head, because for me it'll happen like when I'm doing yoga, or when I'm on a walk, or when I'm not somewhere where I'm falling asleep, or it doesn't happen when I'm sitting down at my guitar. Of course, I'll think of these really cool ideas at random moments, and when I don't write those down later, I'm like, what was it? Or if I get a melody idea in my head, I have a little app on my phone where I can just sing into my phone real quick, so I can log it down, and I do listen back, and I definitely rework those songs later. Or just, write it down. Just write it down somewhere as soon as it pops into your idea. Or somebody, I mentioned it earlier, and when we were talking to Petty Chavez, but if you hear something that somebody else says and you're like, that would be a really cool song lyric, write it down.
Mm-hmm.
You might revisit it later. You might not, but you're at least going to have a bunch of notes and stuff to look at forever, which is also a really great tool to bring into a co-writing experience, because you walk it. The first thing that happens in the traditional Nashville co-write experience is, let's write a song together. What do you want to write a song about? Well, here's all my notes from this week. So-and-so said something that I thought that was a really cool line. Oh yeah, we should work on that. Let's start that song. That's a great song title. Okay. Or it'd be a great first line to a song, just whatever. And then you start kind of spitballing back and forth, or even just by yourself when sometimes I'll just open it up and I'll sit with my guitar, and I'll just try and play around with some melodies and some chords and see if anything strikes. And honestly, probably 60% of those notes do. 60% of the time, those will turn into songs for me.
Nice.
So I'd really recommend doing that, especially if you're a lyricist. If you're not, do it anyway. Write it down. You might give it to somebody else and be your co-writer and be like, I don't know what to do with this. And they'll be like, whoa, that's cool. Stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah. That's about it. I mean, I think, if you're going to write a song, register it with PRO. We have a podcast episode where we talked about PROs in detail during our tips and tricks section. We'll put it we'll put it in the show notes of maybe which one that was, unless Ed can remember which number it was.
I can't remember now.
But I think it's probably in the title, something PROs in you. But
it is in the title. Yep.
Okay, so find this episode where we talk about PROs, which is performance rights organizations, and register your songs, because number one, it's going to protect you. Number two, it's going to pay you if you ever actually make any money on it. And number three, it also it's a nice way to stay organized and be like, oh yeah, look at all those songs I've written.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And you're right. It also can kind of it really you can work out who owns what right then and there, as opposed to just waiting and letting it linger and then people start forgetting who did what or whatever. So yeah, best to get it in as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well,
any questions there?
any questions or comments? I see. I think comments are really important for this section. I know our friend Virginia Cannon is watching from Nashville, who is not a songwriter herself, but she is probably the biggest supporter of songwriters I know. And she hosts concerts and has a lot of very successful songwriter friends. So she says, yes, co-writing is so important. I try to explain this to songwriters all the time, and you're right, it is a Nashville thing. Tucson, which is where she lives now, hasn't embraced it yet. I talk about that at my shows, which is she's currently hosting shows in Tucson all the time. And then she says, yeah, David Malloy has 41 number one hits, and every single one is a co-write, as in not from the same Wow. 41 number one hits with a different co-writer on every single song.
Good grief.
And I mean, you're going to, co-write. Really, most of us who've lived in Nashville have really, really understand the importance and the love for it and I heard somebody else talking about that recently and one of these like dumb masterclass things that they try to make you pay $900 for, which I didn't, but I listened to see if she had something interesting to say in 5 minutes. And she was suggesting like to co-write because she's like, if you want to get songs placed, you should really need to be like writing at least one song a day, but you can't really do that by yourself. So schedule a different co-write every day of the week and you will definitely reach that goal. And I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, where is Simon from? Manchester. Which is interesting because it reminded me that we played in Manchester.
Oh, not a different co-write on every song, but lots of different co-writers. Okay. Well, same idea, Same idea. Yeah. I did not know Simon was from Manchester.
Yeah, and I had to remember who he'd played with, but that was a Charlton Country Club show.
Oh, yeah.
Where we had that awesome curry.
Oh, that was.
You remember that?
Yeah, that was like, you guys have to go get curry basically in this town somewhere, and we went and got it.
We just went to some hole in the wall around the corner from where they were, from their studio, and I didn't even know what to get, and so I just got whatever I thought looked interesting.
You got the best one. I was so mad.
I wasn't even trying, and I got the best one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's definitely do a Crimes Against Folk guest reunion show in Tucson for Virginia's show. That would be, oh, wow. I like see it. It's gonna happen 2021 or 2022. Yeah, I'm glad we could introduce you guys to Petty Chavez. I mean, they're
incredible.
Incredible humans and really interesting careers individually for them both. So it's special that they've come together as a couple and a music duo as well. And just, of course, they really were kind of the belle of the balls there at Far West and made a lot of great first impressions on people, and it's for obvious reasons. So. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, unless there's anything else, I think we can wrap this up with a song.
Yeah, let's do that.
We don't have a song yet, but yeah. Do we have Roland next week, Ed?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys, if you're interested in behind the scenes stuff, we have Roland. What's his last name?
Folensby, I think is how you say it.
Okay, Roland Folensby. Roland Folensby. Wow.
I think that's how you say it.
That's quite the internal rhyme. But he's coming on, and he is what would you officially call him? song placer.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's not official.
Yeah. He places music in TV, film, and online video.
Yeah, he has a lot of our stuff in his catalog, which hasn't really been placed on anything big yet, but he's always working for us. And he's had a lot of his own stuff placed and is really, really knowledgeable on the subject. So if you're a musician or a manager and you are looking to find, or just curious, and you want to find out how to place songs in movies and TV and you know, obviously there's so much more out there, that especially for the placing world right now, is with YouTube and whatever.
Yeah.
There's like minor things you can get that kind of can add up over time, stuff like that. You should really listen to next week's episode with Roland. Send more people our way. We're really excited to have him on. It's going to be a really, really interesting show.
Yeah. And he's just a cool dude.
He is a cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, with quite some with stories himself. We met up with him in Nashville, and just sat down and had some barbecue with him, and like we just had, that was so much fun. Honestly,
I enjoyed that. Yeah.
He's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
All right, what are we gonna end with a show with? We didn't pick a song.
How about? Oh, I don't know. What about oh dear.
This is the problem when we don't write stuff down. We're like, we know 100 million songs, but we can't think of a single one to play.
What about if you need to?
Oh,
keep
yeah, okay.
time on me.
Great. This is a song by Fleet Foxes. Did they release their new album yet?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
I think they did.
Probably.
You should check it out.
Yeah,
this is a song off their last album. It's really, really good. And we do our cover of it. It's a little bit different. It's called If You Need to Keep Time on Me.
How could it all fall in one day?
Were we too sure of the sun?
If you need to keep time on me. If you need to keep time on me. Who knows what state is in store?
If they all turn, will you run?
If you need to keep time on me. If you need to keep time on me. When I need to, I'll keep time on you. Wide oceans roar, frightened fool stokes heat, less fire. But if you need to keep time on me, if you need How could it all fall in one day?
Were we too sure of the sun?
If you need to, keep time on me.
Cool.
Cool.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you once again to our special guests, Simon Petty and Celia Chavez from Petty Chavez. It was really wonderful talking to them. Thanks once again to our producer patrons, Alice Williams, for helping us put this together. If you would like to know more about becoming a patron for the podcast, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/crimesagainstfolk. As a reminder, we do this every Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific, and that is just Pacific anytime. Remember, the clocks are going to change back, I think, next week. So just keep an eye on the times for that. And we stream this on BandLab, Facebook, and YouTube. The edited podcast comes out again on your podcast app of choice, so just keep an eye on your podcast app. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and review. And until next week, I guess we'll say goodbye for now.
Thank you, guys. This was fun. Love Sundays.
Yeah, this was really fun.
Yeah.
And if you're a patron, we're gonna do the post show immediately after. So keep an eye on Patreon for that link.
Yeah.
And in your messages and on your feed. And we'll see you at the post show. Everyone else, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye,
Love you
y'all.
guys. Thank you.